at 9-4. One horse who didn't have to go to Werribee to qualify was the ruling Cup favourite Late Show, who proved his ability at 3,200 metres by winning this year's Sydney Cup. The big chestnut was given an easy task at Epsom this morning, simply trotting and cantering 3 circuits of the track with Jim Cassidy up. Late Show startled track watchers yesterday morning when beaten easily in a gallop by Handy Proverb, but trainer Brian Mayfield-Smith wasn't worried.
The gallop was completely messed up. Handy Proverb's a very brilliant horse on the track, and anyone that's sort of back Late Show can be rest assured that he's in top condition. I'm very happy with him.
When Brian Mayfield-Smith came to Sydney from the Queensland bush 10 years ago, he had 2 main ambitions: to win a Melbourne Cup and a Sydney Trainers Premiership. He's got an excellent chance of doing both in this current racing season. Meanwhile, famous jockey Lester Piggott made his farewell appearance on an English racecourse with 5 rides at a Nottingham meeting. Fittingly, he bowed out with 1 winning ride in the 3rd race, winner number 4,349, but had to be content with a 2nd placing in the final race of his spectacular 37-year career. 50-year-old Piggott will join the ranks of British trainers next year. John Tapp, National 9 News.
And number 2, Feeder Wark, combined with number 5, MARTEC, for a daily double dividend of $27.40. And if you had the numbers 2, 5, 5 and 9 in the quadrella, you'd take home a healthy $2,462.80. When our team for the
Feeder Wark has been re-handicapped for the $1 million Foster's Melbourne Cup, but he still may miss out on a run. VRC handicapper Jim Bowler added 1.5 kilograms to the 5-year-old's cup weight after he scored a courageous win in today's $52,000 Werribee Cup. This places Feeder Wark 36 on the order of merit for the big race. At his last start in the Caulfield Cup, Feeder Wark got his tongue over the bit. Today, with the aid of a tongue tie and after a brilliant ride by Craig Dinn, he was always in a challenging position. Into the straight, Feeder Wark took the lead. About a long neck to Dytheus, 3 lengths to Dusky, Legend, Noble Comment, Show Glen. Mr. Jazz with a late run and Exocet. Feeder Wark a neck in front, Dytheus kicking back, they've got it between them. Feeder Wark just in front of Dytheus, Dusky, Legend, late. Feeder Wark's got the cup one, wins a half length, 2nd Dytheus, 3rd Dusky, Legend, Mr. Jazz. This is the 2nd big race Feeder Wark's won in Melbourne this spring. Earlier on, he'd won the $60,000 Herbert Power Handicap, and his trainer Ian McDonald is hoping to saddle up his first Melbourne Cup horse on Tuesday.
I think that he's probably entitled to get a run in the Cup. It's going to be touch and go, I think, on numbers and order, but I think he's entitled to get a run, yes.
What about the jockey situation?
Well, I'm waiting to see what happens with Craig Dinn. I want him to ride the horse, but I have to wait and see what his master's doing with Irish Lord, and we'll find that out in the next couple of days.
What are the alternatives, here?
I haven't thought of anybody else at the moment.
Let's have a look at the dividend. Feeder Wark at 6-1, 425, Dytheus, Dusky, Legend. The unplaced favourite Exocet had very little luck in finishing 5th in a big trifecta. The quaddie today on 2, 5, 5, 9, 2,462.80. The daily double 2 and 5, 27.40, and the extra on 5 and 9, $53.60. Well, champion jockey Lester Piggott has ridden his last race in Britain. Piggott retired a few days before his 50th birthday. He chose a meeting at Nottingham for his last appearance, and as Scott Chisholm reports, he rode out in style.
It's going to be Lester Piggott on his last day's riding with the winner at the line. Full Choke is the winner.
Lester Piggott's used to winning. He's been doing it more regularly than any other British jockey. 38 years ago, he notched up his first professional win at the tender age of 12, and even then his sights were set on being the best.
But is it true, Lester, that you're after a more famous record, that of Gordon Richards?
I do hope so, yes.
The stables had always been young Lester's second home, and he was soon riding into the record books. He won his first classic at the age of 18 in the Derby. Since then, Piggott's dominated British racing, achieving just about everything there is to achieve in flat racing. He's ridden more than 4,300 winners, including 9 Derbies and 8 St Ledgers. He was 11 times champion jockey.
In the early 70s, they were known...
On Sunday, VFL footballers kicked another goal by convincing the state government that the VFL should have only 3 Sunday games next year instead of the 11 the VFL Commission asked for. Sport and Recreation Minister Neil Trezise announced today that the VFL would be allowed 3 Sunday and 3 Friday night games all at the MCG next season, and even the Minister's former club gets a mention. One of those Sundays games may be played at Geelong.
The VFA remains the only body to still oppose Sunday VFL football.
Other organisations initially against the Victorian Amateur Football Association and the Victorian Country Football League have withdrawn their opposition. However, Mr Trezise doesn't see the government's decision based on the VFA's opposition, but more as assisting the VFL overcome its problems. And that assistance given only if the VFL agrees to freeze admission prices next year.
We've looked at the situation, summed up not only the VFL's position but also that of the other games such as the VFA and the Victorian Amateur Football Association and the Country Football League. We are very pleased that those minor codes compared to the VFL have gone up in their attendances over the last couple of years at the expense, I would presume, of the VFL. And I think that 99% of the VFL's falling support is largely due to themselves, but we have been this year decided to try and assist the VFL to get back on their feet and retain their traditional support.
The Minister's announcement follows yesterday's tabling of one of the most exhaustive reports in VFL history, the VFL Commissioner's blueprint for the future of VFL football. The major proposals in the 220-page document include expansion of the competition in 1987 from 12 to 14 teams with representation from Adelaide and or Perth, mergers of poorer clubs but no private ownership for Melbourne-based clubs, the rescheduling of major games to MCG and VFL Park, the introduction of Sunday afternoon and Monday night interstate games, limiting clubs to 2 teams and team lists of 50, and for the spectators an admission price freeze for 12 months, then rises in accordance with the CPI. As for the expansion interstate, Sports Minister Trezise doesn't agree it would be a positive step.
If you're going to have composite sides in Perth and Adelaide, as they say they are, already on an interstate basis, West Australia usually beat us. If you're going to have one state with one team, all in the one team, and Adelaide the same, we're having 10 in Victoria. It seems to me that one team from Western Australia and one from Adelaide will be too strong for the 10 Victorian clubs, which means that the 1987 Grand Final, Victorian Football League Grand Final at the MCG over here, could be played between Adelaide and Perth. So the scalpers can certainly be on the unemployment list then.
I wonder what the Bombers' Kevin Sheedy would think of that one. Well, now to racing, and today's Werribee Cup was a bookmaker's result with favourite Exocet finishing out of place. Here's how Greg Miles saw the closing stages of the race.
Coming towards the home turn, Dytheus tackled by Federa. 4 lengths away, Dusky Legend under the whip, then Show Glen, Noble Comment and Mr Jazz from Exocet struggling on. Federa's taken the lead from Dytheus in the straight at the 200-metre mark. 3 or 4 lengths away then is Dusky Legend and Show Glen. On the outside, Federa and Dytheus fighting back on the inside. Federa's just got his head in front of Dytheus and then Dusky Legend. Federa just in front. Federa wins. Federa from Dytheus. Dusky Legend a close third. The winner Federa started 6 to 1, second Dytheus 20 to 1, and third Dusky Legend at 16 to 1, and Exocet was the unplaced favourite at 9 to 4 and was disappointing. Federa is still well down the qualifying list, and even if penalised, it may still be up to the discretion of the VRC committee whether he gets a run in the Melbourne Cup.
I'm hoping they see fit to, if it comes to that, yeah.
Roy racing to the front at the 200-metre mark, and Phil de Roy raced to Dytheus. They're clear of Dusky Legend. Then Mr Jazz and further back Show Glen, but Phil de Roy went for home. Dytheus coming again on the inside. Phil de Roy about a neck in front of Dytheus. Dusky Legend. Phil de Roy just in front, close to the line in the cup, and Phil de Roy got the money. Phil de Roy a half length to Dytheus and those to Dusky Legend third.
Federa at 6 to 1, scoring by a half length from the 20 to 1 chance Dytheus, with Dusky Legend a short half head away third at 16 to 1. The unplaced favourite Exocet at 9 to 4, and the winner's time was only 3/10 outside the course record. Afterwards, winning trainer Ian McDonald said he was keeping his fingers crossed about a start in the big one on Tuesday.
It looks touch and go at the moment, but we're hoping that the committee sees fit to use discretionary powers, perhaps, as a Herbert Power winner and now a Werribee Cup winner. We might be a bit unlucky not to be in the field, I think.
Meanwhile, champion jockey Brent Thompson arrived back in Melbourne today and told Terry Clifton a short time ago he was looking forward to riding I'm a Prince in Tuesday's Melbourne Cup.
That he does like a cut in the ground, and maybe we might get that. So if he does, if in fact it does, well, he certainly comes into the race because he's a proven 2-miler, and with the ground to suit him, he could well run very well.
Now checking the major results at Werribee today for the daily double, 2 and 5, $27.40. The extra double for 5 and 9 returned $53.60, and the Werribee Quadrella for 2, 5, 5 and 9. Good dividend of $2,462.80. And Mal, for tonight?
That's all in tonight's sport. Thank you very much, Sandy. Weather coming up next, and looking at the map, I'd say we're all in for a right royal treat. Malcolm Gray will have details right after this break.
Sometime.